All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Jacoby Hollins. With me, I have Joy Hollingsworth of the Hollingsworth Cannabis Company.
Yes, sir.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
They are a producer, processor out of Washington, joining us in New York City today.
We're so happy to be here. I'm sorry. Thank you for having us and looking forward to getting it started, man.
The pleasure is ours. We're at Comeback Daily.
Yep.
Which I love Comeback Daily. A lot of love for them. Special spot in your heart as well.
Super special spot. This is one of our first stores that we got our Elio line into, which is our hemp-based line. And, just very, very excited about being in the store. One of our first stores, so please go and get the product if you're here in New York.
All right, you heard it. Elio at Comeback Daily. And I want to talk about what you brought up in your presentation. There's a couple of things, especially that you guys built this company kind of on a whim.
Right.
How did you get started with this?
2012, the laws a couple of things happened. So 3 things. Barack Obama got reelected, legalization of same-sex marriage, and then also 502, which is the cannabis law for recreational in Washington State. All 3 at one time. It was one big block party on Capitol Hill. Raph was like, yo, we need to jump into the business. Raph is my brother. And he said it just like that. Yo, we need to jump into the business. He called everybody for a family meeting. We're sitting in the basement of our house, all coddled around the TV as he's swiping through his PowerPoint, hearing about how he wants to take this massive operation in a random place we've never been to on the other side of the state and start a business with everyone. I walked out of that meeting, thought he was crazy, and here we are 6 years later after I jumped on the train. Yeah, trying.
That was a pretty solid PowerPoint deck.
It was pretty solid. There was a point of no return after we bought the land, the plants, certain things fell in place where I said, okay, I need to quit my job and start this process with my family.
What were you doing before that?
I was working at a nonprofit with kids, doing after-school programming, and before that I was a basketball coach. So I always wanted to go into basketball coaching. I thought that's what my heart was destined for until this big switch in my life in 2013. But there's only a certain amount of opportunity, and if you are able to take that risk and that jump, sometimes you have to get pushed. Raph pushed us off that cliff, but take it.
So a couple things had to align for that to happen.
Absolutely. My dad had to retire because we used his funds. The law had to pass, so that was huge, being able to have access to be in a legal recreational market. And then also too, all the family had to really come together at one moment in time. We were all in our different spaces doing different things, and we all pulled together and kind of figured it out.
I mean, that's beautiful. I feel like that's the ideal outcome for a family business.
It's that, yes, but a lot of people don't see the arguments every day. A lot of people don't see me getting fired every day or me quitting certain things that happen. A lot of people don't see that. We only show the good stuff in our family, so people think it's hunky-dory, but there's a certain task. I mean, there's a certain, I guess you could say, like, issues that come off and different barriers that you have to be able to jump over every day.
Yeah. So you guys have built this company,
right?
The Hollingsworth Cannabis Company.
Correct.
See what you did there. But there's also some other brands that you guys built.
Right.
Walk me through the process to getting to each of those.
Absolutely. It was a process. So we have our Hollingsworth Cannabis Company that's over all these brands. We have our THC Co. line, which is basically a play on words of the Hollingsworth Cannabis Company, where our mom, shout out to my mom, who is the first person I ever smoked cannabis with. Shout out to mom. She came up with the correlation of those words and letters. After smoking, hitting it, some blueberry kush, then it came all to her mind. And then we also have our Elio line, which is our hemp CBD line. We also have our joystick line, which is our infused pre-rolls, which are great.
I wonder who inspired that.
I can take a little credit for that, and my dad, who said, hey, let's just call them joysticks. And then we have our Papa Vu line, which is our premium level line, which is our flower and pre-rolls. That name came from my brother not being able to say my dad's name when he was younger, so he wasn't able to say Papa would you, he'd just say Papa Vu. And we kind of ran with it and liked it, and everybody thought it was cool. And Now our hashtag is Papa's Home, and that's kind of like our little thing for when we tweet out stuff with Papa Vo. Yeah, Daddy's
the top shelf.
Right, that's that top shelf stuff.
Okay.
Papa's Home.
I mean, and you have something else that's going to be coming out later?
Absolutely, we do. We have a salve stick with my cousin Nate Robinson that's going to be coming out. It's called Hero, and that's for athletes to be able to use on their joints or muscles. He's been using it for the last 8 months now, trying to test the product and giving us little tweaks and what he likes and what he doesn't like about the size, label, whole bunch of stuff that we have to incorporate. And I think we got it just right, and that's coming out at the beginning of September.
Okay, September. Okay, so you guys start this company, you go through all the trials and tribulations of working with your family.
Right.
Which sounds, now that I'm thinking about it, awesome and terrible at the same time. More power to you. But what's also unique about you guys, A, you're family owned.
Right.
But B, you're African Americans
yes.
in a very predominantly white industry.
Right.
Right, so what's that like for you day to day?
It's the same as us being in America. We're unapologetically Black. We embrace who we are. We love our family. And so we're not hiding away from that. We're not shying away from that. We're very intentional about the images that we project on our Instagram, that it's us, that it is people of color, that it's very authentic. It's some of our friends who smoke cannabis. We utilize them. We did a photo shoot with some of our friends from churches who consume cannabis. We're like, hey, we want to do a photo shoot with you guys. They were totally down. And so, you know, it's really crazy to like think about that.
I'm trying to think about
wrap your mind.
Church. Yeah.
Everyone, when you combine God and cannabis, people kind of shy away from it. We embrace it because we don't feel like we could have been able to get this far without some type of force helping us along the way. And we know that's all God and his purpose and his plan, but just being ourselves, that's the biggest thing. We do a lot of pictures of our grandmother because we feel like she's one of the people who helped start this movement. OG from back in the day. And she was born in 1920. She'll be 99 this year in October. So shout out to grandma who smokes cannabis, does the oil and the CBD to go to sleep and stimulate her appetite. Just ate a plate of ribs the other day after she hit a little bit of the oil. So that
helps. I heard that helps appetite.
Huge hit. She killed those ribs, licking the bones and everything. There was nothing to give the dog after that.
Shout out to grandma.
Yeah,
put everybody on.
Yeah, put everybody on.
What about to all the other aspiring entrepreneurs or current entrepreneurs? They're thinking about getting in the game, a little nervous. They might have a little something.
Right.
What would you tell them? How do they think?
Yeah, our situation was the stars had to align. We talked about that a little bit with being able to have little access to capital and being able to designate a certain land that we could, buy for very cheap and be able to grow how we grow sustainable resources. So to be able to grow low cost per gram without jeopardizing quality. And so we know those stars had to align for us to start our grow. If someone wants to get into the industry, they can do other stuff besides selling the plant to consumers or growing. They can do technology, they can be an accountant, they can be a lawyer in the game, like legal advice, they can do consulting, they can own their own bag company for packaging and figure out how to do that. Marketing, branding. There's so many technologies going to be huge in the industry. I mean, you see how Amazon's able to deliver anything in 2 days. If someone could figure out that whole concept, how to access the consumer a little bit better than what we have now, I mean, you're winning the game.
So the opportunity for people of color is more likely in ancillary industries than actually growing products.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping more people of color can get into the industry with growing, but for that, a lot of laws have to change on legislation, being able to lower those barriers of entry, being able to have access to resources that a lot of people didn't have. We're always an open book. We ask people to ask us whatever questions, we can try to answer them, share our resources. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you heard it from me first. Slide in the DMs. And so, we hope there's more people that look like us in the industry. That would be amazing to be on the plant side, the process, the manufacturing. But don't forget about the ancillary businesses. That's going to be huge too.
Amazing. Ancillary businesses, Black-owned businesses.
Absolutely.
You've heard it here from Joy Hollingsworth. Anything else you want to say to our audience?
No, thank you guys for watching and supporting, and you know, we're so grateful for all the messages, all the Instagram love. If you're reposting, sliding in the DMs, I always read our grandma some of your stuff, so be careful what you guys send. Make sure you guys send my grandma some good love, but she'll be 99 in October, and so we're really excited, and thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Where do we find you?
Find us at www.hollingsworthcannabis.com. We're on all different type of social media sites, so you can find us at THC Company WA. Again, that's at THC Company WA. That's Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that good stuff. We're on there.
All right, you heard it. Thank you guys for joining us.